Hey everybody, this is my Barbie spoiler review. I had such a great time watching this film. My expectations were really high. I didn't know where it was going to go. I had no spoilers, no real idea what was going to happen, and I was very thoroughly impressed with pretty much every element of this film, from the production design, the musical numbers, the dance choreography, the seriousness and sophistication of the script, the both recognizing the power of Barbie, the cynicism side of Barbie, the cynicism, I should say, and then going above and beyond that is awesome. It's really cool to see a filmmaker, Greta Gerwig, really take everything that is, I would think, Barbie, and wrap it up into today's world of expectations. What it means to be a woman, what it means to be a man, in a stark contrast compared to a child's fantasy. You know, Barbie Land, playing with child dolls, with girls' dolls. You know, with Barbie and Ken and Alan and everybody else. The tongue-in-cheek humor, the existential crisis, the kind of that tween angst aimed at moms and stuff like that. It felt like it captured so much of so many different perspectives, yet you put it as a Venn diagram. Yeah, there are differences. There are differences between men and women, but you overlap it, and there are some serious similarities. And to be able to celebrate those similarities, I thought was wonderful. Wonderful. Let's talk about performances first. Margot Robbie is Barbie. She produced this film, co-produced it. I had heard that she had read the script and thought it was perfect and was scared that it would not retain its integrity within the Hollywood machine, or it would lose what makes it great. And so to really fight for it and to fight for the sophistication of the script, I thought was awesome. The jokes are incredible. She's got some really great moments, very emotional, heartfelt moments. Ken is so great. Ryan Gosling's the man. He's got such great comedic timing and moments that made me laugh out loud. I mean, I'm talking like 5 times at least, maybe more, for sure. He gives 110% and understands both the seriousness of the role and the goofiness of it in a way that every guy would be proud of, dude. Every guy is going to be Ken this Halloween, dude. Every guy is going to be Ken this Halloween, okay? Having Ryan Gosling with such a great script and Noah Baumbach as a scriptwriter being involved, definitely from the male perspective, just felt so validated and seen. Like, as a guy, isn't this kind of crazy to say? As a guy, I felt seen in the Barbie movie, which is awesome to say, bro, because if you would have guessed this like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, being like, okay, it's going to be women crapping all over men and crapping on the patriarchy and all this other stuff that we just keep hearing over and over and over again. That, hey, yeah, sorry, okay, I didn't live to build that. I want there to be fairness, but I also want to recognize that there are differences between men and women. We like certain things, women like certain things. And yeah, there are some childish things about us for sure. When Ken was like, loving horses and having the Mojo Dojo Casa house, I'm like, that place looks awesome. I totally want to hang out there. Or the Barbie Dream House, I'm like, wow, this is really pink. But just being able to embrace those differences and finding yourself and not having yourself wrapped up in your significant other, not having your self-identity wrapped up in your girlfriend or having a girlfriend or your boyfriend or having a boyfriend, was wonderful. I just felt great. I felt like a weight on my shoulders of like, wow, I haven't really done that well in the romantic world, that just like melted away of like, because I'm still working on myself. There's plenty I still want to accomplish with my career, that even if I did find a significant other right now, I wouldn't want to resent her or regret her or have a type of relationship from a distance. I'd want to be all in. And for Barbie to recognize that, and Ken to recognize that, and for Barbie to apologize. Bro, Barbie apologizes to Ken in the Barbie movie, bro. Barbie apologizes to Ken for not seeing him. Was great. And it didn't mean that she liked him or was romantically interested, but he was an accessory. And this is what I think was so genius about this film, is it allowed for me as a man to have an idea of what it felt like to probably be a woman in the 1960s when Barbie was invented, 1959. To be a housewife, to be someone whose like identity is attached to their husband and to their husband's hopes and dreams. Now, I can give you my take of why that kind of was prevalent in the 1950s and 60s America. Part of it, not all of it, part of it was because these men just went and killed each other across the world, and it screwed them up. And so having something home and stable and feminine, very feminine, was something that gave them a lot of pleasure and hope and therapy, because they couldn't talk about their feelings. So again, that's just my take. But that's a bit of the kind of Mad Men perspective, possibly. I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just trying to give it from a male's point of view. If you see some serious stuff out there in the world, sometimes you just want a home-cooked meal. And I'm sure women that are out there working 12, 15-hour jobs, especially women working, I mean, all sorts of industries, but especially the healthcare industry. I mean, nurses work super hard, bro, to have a bit of that stability at home. Be it masculine or feminine, just somebody at home to help build the home is, I don't think there's a wrong desire in having that. But it doesn't even go into that stuff really in that film in terms of like the housewife. It goes into just the gender dynamics. And I mean, it does a little bit when you see all the Barbies getting brainwashed into Kendom and being, you know, the companions. But that's how you felt about the Kens. The Kens were the companions to the Barbies in that world, where Barbies were all the presidents and the construction workers. They were doing everything, and Ken was just Ken. I just thought it was awesome. It didn't feel like it was attacking men. It doesn't feel like it was attacking women either. It was able to poke fun and show the reflection of both masculinity and femininity, which I loved, dude. It felt like everybody was on board. Everybody acting-wise was on board. So you have your two leads, Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie, and then you got everybody else, which were awesome. Will Ferrell, dude, I laughed so hard when they did the whisper game, when the guy's like, okay, I'm going to whisper it to the other executives, and they whispered it up the chain. And when it got to Will Ferrell, he just fainted. I did not expect that whatsoever. That was great physical comedy. But that it happened once with Skipper, the babysitter Barbie. She was babysitting somebody in Long Beach or something like that. I thought we were going to see Skipper or something come out of that story, but I guess it had just happened years ago. America Ferrera as the mom, and I really love that connection. And then the daughter was, are you guys shining right now? Or it's like, no, they really get each other emotionally. But it was the mom. It was the mom having all the memories and the thinking about depressed, sad Barbie, which I thought was great. And depressed Barbie, that whole sequence was hilarious, dude. Every one of us were laughing when BBC's Pride and Prejudice came on. Dude, it was like watching the Lego movie or Across the Spider-Verse, and it went into the Lego land. It just was so self-aware and genius and funny. It was so funny, dude. Always in sweatpants and eating a whole family-sized bag of Starburst and complaining that her jaw hurts. Like, this is so specific. This is great. But I felt that, dude. I understand where ladies come from in that world. As a guy, I felt that. For me, it's ice cream or beer or Mike's Hard Lemonade. Definitely need a sponsor, guys. It's that overlap. We have differences as men and women, but there's an overlap that we both recognize. And I'm so happy that this film nailed it, man. I'm so happy it did. I'm so happy. There's so much I wanted to talk about between the cameos and the performances, but the dance performances, that whole dance sequence at the beginning over at Barbie's house was so cool. And that moment when Ken's like, all right, I'm going to make my move, and he's moving in, like every guy's been there, especially at prom, where I'm going to go dance with my date, I'm going to go dance with that girl, or the girl's like, I'm going to go dance with that guy or their partner, whoever. You have that feeling, I'm going to go dance to him, and you get into the groove and you get close and you make your move. Oh, it was wonderful. And then the Ken sequence, bro, the I'm Just Ken song. So heartfelt, and turning into that whole play fighting on the beach and stuff. I'm like, this is exactly what boys would be doing, man. Then we get into that existential crisis of Barbie and thinking about death and all this stuff that you don't really think about as a kid, right? You don't think about this stuff as a kid. You're just having fun and thinking about who you want to be when you want to grow up. You're not thinking about death. And there are a number of moments in this film that I definitely felt the emotions for sure, man. It definitely got me in the feels. But it really hit me when Margot Robbie sat down at the bench and she was seeing that elderly woman, that older woman, and she told her that she's absolutely beautiful. And the woman said, "I know." And it was great. I had that Billie Eilish song going through my mind, which I didn't expect it to be woven through the movie and for it to be one of the theme songs of the film, which it's beautiful. It's a beautiful song. If you haven't seen the music video, it's pretty cool. It's very simplistic in its presentation, but profound in the lyrics and just making it through another day. So I highly recommend it. The ghost that lives on the 17th floor, the creator of Barbie, having that discussion and being kind of, the mom, the grandma, was great. And understanding the complications of being human, what it means to be human and everything that comes with it, was where I thought the movie was going to kind of go, of the complications of being a human. But the beautiful nature, again, of Barbie growing up. And that's what the movie's really about growing up and having to tackle tough things. But starting with that wide-eyed, innocent, be kind to everyone, be curious about the world, and try to understand other people's perspectives. Having empathy is a good place to start and to go from there and be who you want to be from there. So at the end, when Ken still wants to kiss Barbie because he still has those feelings, but she's not into him, and he tries to dip her and go for the kiss, then he slaps himself. Oh man, that's just Oscar-worthy performance. So good. So that monologue that America Ferrera says it's just so great and so on point, and I'm sure about probably every woman can relate. And I just really felt it, I really felt it, especially when she brought up, especially when the daughter said men hate women and women hate women. Like, ooh-wee, yeah. If there's one thing that, it kind of baffles me sometimes, is just how women tear each other down. And when they address that just briefly, but comedically in the film, was just fascinating. And then America Ferrera talks about it in a very specific way of with makeup or dressing nice, where you want to dress nice to feel good about yourself, but not too much to where you're a threat to other women and stuff. I'm like, geez, it is so much. It is so much. It's a lot. But that's what art is able to do. I'm reminded of this conversation I had at a bar one time where I was reading a newspaper. An old school newspaper, an old fat, just made out of paper. And there's these three women having a conversation, and they shouted over at me like, "Hey, is that a real newspaper that you're reading?" I'm like, yeah, I'm just catching up on the news out of a specific region out of Oklahoma. It was like a local newspaper. And we started to have a conversation, and they were very combative and a little mean because I was a guy, just because I was a guy. And we were talking about just the different dynamics of men and women, the workplace, stuff like that, and hearing a lot from their perspective. And I had asked a couple different questions and, agreed with them for the most part. But then one of them said, "Well, you'll never understand what it's like to be a woman. You'll never get it." And I said, "But I can try." She's like, "No, why even try?" It's like, well, that's what books are for. You can read books. You can experience art. You can try to understand what it is like, even though you're not going to 100% know what it's like because you are not that person or you're not that gender. But you can have enough empathy and have kindness and be curious in order to understand that you can better communicate or better respect what it is. if I'm not even allowed to do that, then that's wrong. And she said, I like your style after that. But that's what art is all about. That's what it's all about. And when you're able to have so many amazing artists when it comes to the costumes, which were phenomenal, dude. I want that faux mink coat. The Mojo mink coat, man, it was so dope. All the different outfits for Barbie and all the other Barbies. Just was impeccable. The set design was amazing. I'm so glad they went for the painted set in the background because it looked real. It wasn't green screen, it was real. There was a little bit of some CGI here and there, like when the car flips over and stuff like that to add a little smoke. But it was all real. Oh, Dua Lipa's in this film a couple times. So good to see her. Whew. Yeah, I'm going to be thinking about this film for a long time. Because I think it was just exactly what everybody needed right now. Just to be like, hey, times are tough. Things are hard for both men and women. Yeah, the patriarchy has a lot of problems. And if it was all about horses, it'd definitely be a lot cooler, for sure. But if everything's men, it's not great. If everything's women, it's not great. You got to find a balance between the both. Just like you got to find a balance between masculinity and femininity, I think, in society, for sure. A lot to think about, folks, in a Barbie movie. And shout out to Mattel for allowing themselves to be lampooned a little bit. I am so thoroughly impressed with this film. I probably want to see it again in for theaters. I'm going to buy it on disc for sure in 4K. And I'm going to enjoy it probably for a long, long, long time. Maybe they'll make a spin-off. I think they should make a sequel. Here's what I think they should do. Okay, I'm a bit of a romantic at heart. Who isn't, right? I want them to make a sequel, Ken, where Ken goes and finds himself. And then in the third movie, you see Ken and Barbie dealing with like adult life and being single and dating in the world. And because of their experiences, and because they both do find themselves and who they are, they're ready to date. And they finally do make it because they have such a unique background. You know, only they can really understand each other coming from the world of Barbie Land. I think that would be genius. I think that'd be awesome. Not everything has to be a romantic happy ending, but Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie as actors, I think work so well together and on screen have a great chemistry. And as the characters of Ken and Barbie, you do want to have that happy ending. It's a dream land. It's a dream house. So that's what I would do for 3 films. But let's just focus on this one. Let's have it win so many awards and then see what happens in the future. But again, kudos to everybody that made this. It's a great film. It's really a great film. And I look forward to reading your comments down below. I hope you're as pleasantly surprised with this film as I was. Again, I did have high expectations, but I feel I'm not only surprised with the high level of craftsmanship and showmanship when it came to the visuals and the design, but the level of the script. The level of the script. The last joke. Let's talk about the last joke real quick. The last joke, I knew it was coming. I had a good idea it was coming, not because I had heard about it or anything, but because of the setup way earlier when they first were in the real world, and they were talking to the construction workers, and then Barbie says, "I don't have a vagina," and he doesn't have a penis. Pointed again. I thought, okay, I thought that was kind of kindergarten cop funny, but if they bring that up again, it's going to be like she becomes a human. And so what's the very last joke is, hey, my name is Barbara, and I'm here to see my gynecologist. I thought that was, like, from a script perspective, that's genius, but it's also great because it's woman's health. You should get checked out once a year. I get checked out once a year for a physical, but it's not just about having a child. It's about making sure that every part of your body is working as it should, you know. I don't plan to have kids for a long time, but as a guy, it's important to make sure your health is in tip-top shape. And for us guys, okay, I'll be honest here, all right? For us guys, it's the colonoscopy stuff. It's not fun to talk about, but it's important to get checked out. And if there's one thing that's taught us from a more global social dynamic and perspective, it's Chadwick Boseman, man. He passed away from colon cancer. So that stuff's real, okay? It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's a human body. Discuss it with your doctor. And if that can empower women to take care of themselves, then I think it's also important for men to be able to take care of themselves. And that's how cool Barbie is as a film. It's making us better. There you go. All right, everybody. God, I can't believe we had this conversation over a Barbie movie. I'm glad that I got this pink shirt, and I'm glad that I took my mom. Gentlemen, if you don't have a lady in your life, take your mom, take your sister, something. This is definitely a film that you guys should go see. And yeah, it's definitely going to be up there for Best Picture for the Academy Awards. All right, everybody. It's YouTube. You know what to do. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you online.